So part 2, carrying on, Matthew chapter 24. It says, "And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there should be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." And you see that now. You see these very prophecies that Yahweh Shai spoke of to the 12, the apostles, coming to pass now. You know, like I said in the first part of the lesson, you know, you just had a 8.8 earthquake that just rocked Russia, and supposed to bring a tsunami towards Hawaii or whatnot. And then you have these floods. Just then you got multiple floods that just kicked in New York. So, you know, New York has been flooded with floods. And these are the pestilences, really the tempests, the storms that have been prophesied to take its course in this hour. It says, all these are the beginnings of sorrows. It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. It says, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And that's another prophecy, another telltale that has been happening. If you subscribe to these news channels, Fox News, CNN, and you know, your local news, you will see that that the love of many is waxing cold. You know, you got fathers killing daughters and doing things to daughters. You got mothers doing things to children, killing children. You got kids killing fathers, kids killing children, grandparents getting whacked by their own grandchildren. You know, it's prophecy. The love of many shall wax cold. And not only that, you already know how it's just random things. Well, not so much random, but sometimes random things happen. Like you had last week, you had some guy that just went inside a Walmart and just sliced everybody up. But here's the thing, man. The prophets, we know that everything is ordained by Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And I'll get into that. These evils, wickedness, righteousness, ups, downs, poverty, riches, wealth, highest states, lowest states. It's all governed by Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, the Ancient of Days. It says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And that's what you're seeing right now. That's what you're seeing taking its course right now. You see prophecy. I always say, people always say those are biblical days. When you get to speaking and talking to people, they be like, yeah, that happened in the biblical days. That was in the ancient biblical times. Idiot, you're living in biblical times. We're living in biblical times. This is biblical times. This is the biblical times that was talked about, or really the future prophecies that were talked about, you know, in the Ancient of Times. in the apostles' time, in Yahweh's time, in David's time, in Ezra's time. We're the future. We're living out prophecy. That's the thing. Matthew 24:17, it says, let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to his clothes. And destruction, woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. When tribulation, when the great tribulation is finally, when Yahweh finally brings the great tribulation, these are the things, the sad perils that people will have to worry about. You know, their children, food, shelter, war, violence. Look at this. It says, mom of boy accidentally shot. It says, that's what I'm saying. You see, I get these pop-ups all the time, these news pop-ups. That goes back into the, you know, the love of many waxing cold and just violence and whatnot. Which is all prophecy, which is all prophetic. It says, woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, great tribulation. Those days are fastly approaching. You know, we can't pinpoint it, just like we can't pinpoint when Yahweh Shai HaMashiach is finally returning. But you see the signs. The signs are just like, you know, they're just like a woman that's pregnant. 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 7 months. You guesstimate or make your hypothesis by looking at, you know, the signs, the prophecies. So we know great tribulation is heading down the pike. May not be here 2026. It may not be here 2027. I mean, it could be here. It could be here 2026. It could be here 2027. It may not be here 2028. It could be 2030, 2035. Honestly, it'd be great if it's 2026. Go ahead and get these prophecies over with. Go ahead and, you know, get Babylon up out of here. So no one knows. Only one that knows is Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. But we have the signs. We see the signs of the times and filter things out through the Spirit. Matthew 24, verse 20. It says, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Shabbat day. It says, for then shall be great tribulation. And that's basically what all this is. This is the saga that we're turning into or getting into, which is great tribulation. It says, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. So you got all these people that's preparing, you know, you got these preppers, you know, chiefly with these heathens, with these Gentiles. They love to prep, in which, I mean, that's logical. But you just heard what the prophecy said. It says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. So how can you prepared? It's a lot. How can you prepare? Rather, not prepared. How can you prepare or get prepared for something that has never taken its inception on the earth before? This is why we, the prophets, the apostles, the true scholars, the true men, we laugh at you, you preppers. We laugh at you because you can't prepare for something that never happened, ever. It's never happened. I'll read it again. Matthew 24:21. It says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, This time is us right now, and this future time, living right now, this present time. It says, no, nor ever shall be. So you can't prepare for this. You can't prepare. I mean, you can prepare spiritually. That's the only preparedness that's going to save you during great tribulation. Spiritual preparedness. You know, the physical, I'm about to stack up my garage, stack up my basement, food, dry food, supplies, weaponry, guns, ammunition, this, yada, yada. And don't get it twisted. That is smart. You know, that is logical. But Yahweh, man, you got to understand who runs the show. It's Yahweh, the Ancient of Days. He can have it to where you do all that prepping, and it's going to happen. You see it in the movies. You see it in these movies, man. You see it in these movies that these directors come up with. They have it where, you know, you got one family or one people in the movie getting prepared, prepping. And then, you know, the protagonist ends up finding the home or the bunker or the house that was stacked up. And all of that preparedness was not even for the original preparer, if you will. If that's even a word, an English word, preparer. So Yahweh have it to where you did all that prepping, and he's going to do it. It's going to happen. I wish, you know, we can be like Yahweh in that time and just see. It's amazing to be Yahweh, man. He can see everything. Like that's just so much power. He can see everything in everybody's life. All your secret thoughts, secrecy. See what you're doing all at once. He's everywhere at once. He's everything at once. Such glorious power. But I wish I could, you know, can see all these certain situations play out, man. All these plots and twists just play out. And you're going to have it. So all these people that's preparing, they're going to be preparing for the elect. Yahweh willing. Yahweh willing. And it's not even a willing. I know that's a for sure. I know that's a for certainty. A for certain. Because he tells you that his elect in the day of famine, in the day of pestilence, the elect is going to be sealed and protected. But carrying on, Matthew 24:23, it says, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here be Hamashiach, or there be, believe it not. And like I said, you got people doing that right now, talking about their Hamashiach, they're the prodigal son. They the second coming. They are, they are Christ. They are, was Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. They are, Yahweh Shai, or they say Jesus Christ. It says, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs. And who are the false prophets? It's definitely not us. We're the true prophets on the scene. Since we have came on the scene from the elders, from their elders, Abba Bivens, Yeshaya, Priest Ariah, the One West, all the way down to Har Gabar, Ramlan, all the way down to the bishops and apostles, and all the way down to us. We have been giving you truth, and the prophecies have been speaking, moving. So it's definitely not us. So who are the false prophets? The false prophets is your pastor, your deacon. These religions. That's who the false prophets are. The false prophets are these religions. Your deacons. These ministers. That's who the false prophets are. These church houses, which are whorehouses, spiritual fornication, these lies, the wine of Babylon. Those are your false prophets. Those are the liars. You know, pastor, pork chop. Pastor stealing from the church. You know, your TD Jakes, your Creflo Dollars. You know, they're the only ones that come to my head right now. There's a lot of them, even to the Gentiles, the heathens. The heathen ones, you know, Myers. The other ones as well. Can't name them right now. But those are the false prophets. They're not teaching the 100% truth of the Bible. It says, verse 25, it says, behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. Jumping down to verse 29, chapter 24 of Matthew. It says, immediately after the tribulation. And that's what this thing is. Everything is leading up to the great tribulation. Like I said, we don't know if it's next year, the year after, the year after, the year after, or it can come tomorrow or next week. But we do know by prophetic prophecy that it is prophesied to come, and it's going to happen because it is prophecy. It says, immediately after tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. It says, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man. Who is the Son of Man? That is the prodigal son, the one they call Hamashiach, Yahweh Shiloh. The one they don't call him Yahweh Mashiach. We call him Hamashiach, Yahweh, the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. They call him Jesus Christ, which is not his name, according to the Paleo-Hebrew. It says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn in the sun. Salak, it says, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. That's going to be the next lesson. And these lessons we always come out with, they be the same lesson, but who cares? What is the father of perfection? The father of perfection is repetition. Repetition, repetition, repetition. That is the father of perfection. Repetition. So some of these lessons be the same lessons we bring out all the time. It is what it is. Repetition. For you listeners out there, you know, you fellow Israelites, this is why we do these lessons and teach them, so you can comprehend them, learn them, write them down, and study them for yourself. That's the whole point. And for you devils out there, we know you devils are listening. We know you devils are listening. We're spiritual men. We see and hear everything, well, not everything. We don't know everything, but we're spiritual men. We're mortals, but not any mortals. We're mortals, but not any mortals. The elect, the ones that was with Yahweh Shai, creating this whole place. When you really dabble into it, past lives and past lives and past lives, coming back until our final lot. Our final lot. And I may go into that lesson too. Matthew 24:31, it says, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect. And that's the whole point of this whole thing. It's about the elect. The elect understands what's going on and understands everything right now, because we have been given the spiritual eye salve, the oil, the power of the Rakach HaKadash, or Kadash, the Holy Spirit to filter everything out. 2nd Ezra chapter 9, the Apocrypha. Ezra is Esdras. Esdras is Ezra. The Apocrypha is canon. It matches up with everything in the Bible. The devils took it out. And I ain't talking about a red figure with a pitchfork. I'm talking about the Edomites, the heathen. 2nd Ezra 9, it says, and he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou see part of the signs pass, which I have told you before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest, who is the highest? Yahweh, the Ancient of Days, will begin to visit the world which he has made. And that's what's happening right now. He's visiting the world which he has made through judgment, through blessings, through blessings, through the signs of the heavens. You know, you see all of the chariots. It's so many videos of the chariots, so many videos of these spiritual spacecraft and these NASA directors and NASA scientists and militaries and all these people in the military. They have seen these chariots, which they call them UFOs. These angels, because that's what the Bible calls them. They are our brothers. They are the friends, the brothers of the Israelites. Those chariots, those UFOs, they are the brothers of the Israelites. They are our helpers, our defenders. But yeah, they've been many stories, man. A lot of stories, a lot of things have been coming out lately about the UFOs, the chariots, the angels, and how they harass the militaries, harass the pilots, harass nuclear plants, power plants. How they, you know, go forth and go out. You know, those are signs. You know, that's Yahweh coming to visit the world which he made. And it only gets bad. It only gets worse. Because those angels, those UFOs, those chariots, those orbs, it's prophesied that they come back with the Holy One, the Redeemer. And they take over. A mighty takeover. It says 2 Esdras 9. It says, therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes, you just had an 8.8 earthquake yesterday or day before yesterday. You got floods, all in New York. You know, you got floods in Japan and China, floods happening all over the earth. You got volcano eruptions. I think last week, man, it said last week that 26, I don't know, don't quote me on it, but it said 26 volcanoes erupted. They all erupted or not so much erupted, but activated down that coastline. Whatever coastline all the volcanoes sit on, they all activated. So you got so much stuff happening all over the world. People think that their little world is the only thing that's happening. This is a planet Earth, man. This is planet Earth. This place is vast, it's large, it's big. It's a whole world. Your little world is not the only manifestation that's going on. So there's all type of things happening throughout the earth, all around the earth. And that is Yahweh, the Ancient of Days, visiting his world, his creation. That's Yahweh visiting his creation, his world, because he created all of this. This is his. And he's showing forth prophecies and signs. It says 2 Esdras 9, it says, therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people and the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High, Yahweh, spoke of these things from the days that were before you and from the beginning. It says, for like as all that is made in the world, in this world here, on this side, it says, have a beginning. So we all begin and we all end eventually, just like everything else in this life. It says in the end, it says, and at the end it is manifest. And right now we're at the end. We are in the end times. This is why you see the love of many waxing cold. This is why you see earthquakes, uproars, pestilence, famines, storms, tempests. This is why you hear the talks of the beast, the mark of the beast system, where money is going to be eventually irrelevant. Cash is eventually going to be irrelevant. And then to some degree, it is irrelevant because everything is on plastic. Everything is digital, plastic, digital. Even though I prefer my compensation in cash money. I prefer my compensation in cash money, or chiefly, I prefer my compensation in gold and silver. How about that? Gold and silver, silver and gold is really how I want my compensation. But 2nd Esdras 9, it says, for like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and the end is manifest. Even so the times also have Yahweh have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works. And you see these things happening. It says, in endings and effects and signs, the chariots, the UFOs, the prophets, us. We are a sign. Us ourselves are a sign, man. The prophets, we're a sign to be able to open up this ancient book. You got to understand, man, the Bible is an old, ancient book. It's old and ancient. We have been given the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, the spiritual download to unravel these mysteries, to unravel these prophecies, to preach, to teach, to prophesy, to understand it. You got to think about the significance of that. That's an amazing feat right there. That's an amazing feat. And nobody understands it like us. Chiefly, nobody understands it like the elect, the election, the 144,000 Israelite men who have been sealed from each tribe. It's not a spiritual Israel. It's the bloodline Israelites who have been sealed in each tribe. Now, we may say we from the tribe of Judah. We may say we from the tribe of Benjamin, Levi, Gad, Reuben. Nobody really knows what tribe they really from. You know, we just say what we say. You know, more so off prophecy, off signs and whatnot. But nobody really knows what tribe they come from. We just know we're of the tribes because we fit the prophecies. So we like to say Judah. We like to say Benjamin. We like to say Levi. We like to say Gad. We like to say Reuben. We like to say Ephraim. But nobody really knows. Only Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai knows where all of his tribes are scattered unto. But then again, by prophecy, you so-called African Americans would be Judah. And very well are Judah. But I digress. 2nd Esdras 9, it says, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works, endings and effects and signs. And everyone that should be saved and should be able to escape by his works and by faith. So this is how you escape, you silly Christians. You Christians that say, oh, I'm saved because I know how to quote a couple scriptures and I believe in my Jesus. And I go to church on a Sunday, which I'm not supposed to. And his name is not Jesus. And you're supposed to do way more than just quote a couple scriptures. I'm saved. I'm saved. 2nd Esdras 9:7. 2nd Esdras 9. Oh, you don't even believe in the Apocrypha. You never even read the Apocrypha. You say you're not. One of my family members, man. Yahweh bless her soul, bless her heart. But one of my family members say, I don't need to. I'm only accountable for what I know. Okay. All right. 2nd Esdras 9:7. After he didn't put me in your life to show you and to tell you, you still want to be ignorant. And this is why this is why Yahweh is really not going to really care, man, when he bring his final destruction, when he bring that judgment, because he raised up the prophets, the men, to tell you and teach you. And, you know, people like to look at your flaws. They like to hold you to your flaws, your imperfections. Even though we are not regular mortals, we're still mortals. We're still in this flesh. We're still sinful. And then people, when they know you, you know, they like to hold you to that. You know, they don't see what. They don't really understand the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But we're those men. We're the Israelites. We're the prophets. We're the apostles. We understand the prophecies. So when you tell a person that the Apocrypha is canon. The Apocrypha is the real deal. They like to say dumb stuff. Like, I'm only accountable for what I know. I haven't read it or this, yada, yada. But hey, everybody is going to have to stand before Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Eventually, right? Especially if you perish before the great day. But even then, on the great day, everybody is still going to face Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Because if you die, you're going to face Yahweh Shai Mashiach, the judge. You're going to get judged. He's the judge. And then if he allows for you to live throughout all of the prophecies, the tribulation, etc., we're still all going to face Yahweh Shai, because he comes back with the angels. And it says that every eye shall see him. So either way it goes, we're all going to face our Maker. Either way it goes, we're all going to face the Maker. How about that? If you die off, if he allows for you to die, and you transition into the spiritual realm, the world, you're going to meet your Maker, Yahweh the Father, and Yahweh Shai the Son, because he aided with the Father to create creation. So you're going to meet your Maker. You're going to meet Yahweh Shai that way. And then if he have it to where, it says that some will be roughly paraphrased, it say that some standing here, Yahweh Shai said that some men standing here are going to not die until they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds, roughly paraphrased. So even then, we still see our Maker, Yahweh Shai. So everybody's going to see their Maker. And it says that when he comes back, every eye shall see him, even those that pierced him. So everybody's going to see their Maker, Yahweh Shai. We're all going to see him. But when he put people in your life to tell you and to inform you, and then you hold it to no degree, you're going to be accountable. And how much more so us, those that know the truth, that preach this truth, how much more so of us. So this is the real deal, man. It's real. It's nothing to play with. 2nd Esdras 9:7, it says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith. So that's how you save, you silly Christians. You silly Christians. This is how you're saved, by your works and by faith. Where it says, whereby you have believed. And I'm going to read it one more time. It says 2nd Esdras 9:7, and everyone that shall be saved, and to precept 2nd Esdras 9:7, it says in Matthew, one of the chapters, it says, he that endures, or he or she that endures to the end is the same that shall be saved. Another precept. But 2nd Esdras 9:7, and everyone that shall be saved, salvation. And what is salvation? It's going to be, salvation is where the saints, the election, it's talking about the Israelites, because those are the chariots of Israel. I believe wholeheartedly that only the Israelites can get beamed up in those chariots. The chariots of Israel, as Elisha, I believe Elisha said when Elijah was taken up. It says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, and shall be preserved from the sad perils, and shall see my salvation in my land. And it says, and within my borders, for I have sanctified them from the beginning. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case, 2/3. And then these heathens, these Gentiles, the gospel is not for y'all, really, honestly. When you match precept and precept together, match everything together, I mean, it's really not for you. So you heathens are going to be in that pitiful case. You 2/3 are going to be in that pitiful case. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways. Right now, you devils know the truth. I mean, you devils know the truth right now. I'm speaking of you heathens. Y'all know the truth right now. Y'all know who the true children of Israel are. Y'all stole everything, whitewashed everything. You read the scripts, you read the artifacts, you stole the artifacts, you stole everything. You have his people in bondage. You have his people in captivity. You have mucked up the Holy Land. You have mucked up the word. You whitewashed the angels. You whitewashed Yahushua. You whitewash Yahweh. So yeah, I believe y'all will be in that pitiful case. Salvation is for the Israelites. And you still don't teach the truth. You Gentiles still don't teach the truth. And I'm speaking of Esau, Edom, Amalek, the Amalekites. You still don't preach the truth. You still don't follow the Bible wholeheartedly. So I believe y'all will be in that pitiful case, because everybody likes to say, where's the salvation for the Gentiles? Where's the salvation for the heathens? And we tell you time and time again that salvation is not for you ethnic heathens, you Gentiles. I just named all the reasons why. You know, fluoride, all in the water, chemtrails, all in the oxygen, processed food, chemicals and everything. Lies, whitewashing. You damn rabbis, y'all supposed to be the rabbis, the Levitical priests, the shepherds of the church. But you rabbis, you own all of the porn sites. You rabbis, you own all of the porn sites, defiling the minds of the people. You know, the alphabet community, you defile the minds of the people. You put that and push that spirit everywhere. And push that everywhere. But, you know, you people supposed to be the people of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. You know, you go around causing wars for no reason. But you people supposed to be the people of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. As I said earlier, chemtrails, pesticides, herbicides, fluoride. You put chemicals in everything. But you people supposed to be the people of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So yeah, just to bring it all the way back home, y'all are going to be in that pitiful case. I don't believe those chariots are coming to pick you people up. 2nd Esdras 9, it says, then shall they be in pitiful case, the 2/3, you Israelites, you hard-headed Israelites, those that don't believe in this truth, this gospel, those that walk past us when we're out there teaching and preaching, or when we're teaching and preaching on the socials, those that flick past the post. Yeah, you 2/3, not just those Gentiles, you Israelites, man. You Israelites are going to be judged too. So all of y'all are going to be in a pitiful case, the 2/3 and the heathens. Now, I have to tell the whole truth, because that's our plight. Yahweh did say, according to Amos 9, 11, and 12, that there are heathens, Gentiles, that will be saved by his name. And we believe that those are the other, you know, Gentiles that's going to be gathered up, you know, in the other parts of the earth. We don't believe that no Gentile here in America is going to get beamed up or, you know, salvaged for slavery. Because Babylon is going to be judged. You know, they live in, they, you know. So that's where that Amos 9, 11, and 12. And I'll grab that too, as a matter of fact, since I brought it up. Because, you know, that's one thing our people love to do. We love to worry about everybody else. They be like, well, what's going to happen to the other nations? Are they going to be in the kingdom of heaven? Yes, all nations will be in the kingdom of heaven. But these nations are going to be serving just like you're serving here in this kingdom. Amos 9:11. Let's grab that prophet Amos, where it speaks of the heathen, the ethnic heathen, the Gentile nations. Amos 9:11 and 12. It says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David." That's happening right now as we speak. That is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. That's how you know this is prophecy. It says that they may possessive possession, the These nations are going to be our slaves, our possessions, my bondman and my bondwoman. And Yahweh willing, to you pretty Gentiles, women, my concubines. My concubines. But I digress. It says, Amos 9:12, it says that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all of the heathen, which are called by my name, said the Lord, that does this. So there's heathens called by Yahweh's name, but that's going into to be possessions, to be slaves. I'm going to just tell you the truth. We were slaves. We're the Israelites, and we were slaves to all of these nations. Babylon, Persia, Rome, Greece, Egypt, China, America, Spain, Portugal. The Israelites, God's people, were slaves all throughout the earth. So why is it so hard for y'all to be slaves? Justice, right? Justice. As thou hast done, it should be done unto thee. Revelations 13:10-9. So I don't want to hear it. So the heathen that is called by his name, they're going to be counted up for slavery. But I digress. Let's get back to 2 Ezra 9, because our people love to say, what about the nations? Well, there you go. Everybody is going to be in the kingdom of heaven, which is Yahushai's millennial kingdom. But the Gentile nations, not talking about you Hellenized Israelites, because you're referred to as Gentiles too, the Hellenized Israelites. And this is why these Christians don't understand the scrolls, because they keep interchanging the two, mixing up the two. But you ethnic Gentiles, you're going to be slaves in the kingdom of heaven, just like the Israelites are slaves in this kingdom of heaven. Because this is a kingdom of heaven for a certain people. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Oppenheimers, the Gettys, the Orsinis. This is their heaven. And they got everybody in slavery. So yeah, let's stop playing, man. They got the children of God in slavery. And this is their kingdom of heaven. So yeah, we're going to have our kingdom of heaven, or we're going to have their asses in slavery. And I'm just telling the truth. That's just the truth. 2 Ezra 9, verse 9, it says, then shall they be in a pitiful case which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. This is the judgment that Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, is going to bring on everybody. And them Rothschilds, Rockefellers, DuPonts, Oppenheimers, Orsinis, Gettys, Trumps, Bushes, Clintons. Everybody's going to get judgment, man. Nobody's over God. I'll say that again. Yahweh, nobody is over Yahweh. He's going to judge as he sees fits. No mortal can stop prophecy. Even the children of Israel, his own people, we couldn't stop prophecy. And we're his own people. We're the apple of his eye. And look what he has done to us. Look at the lowest state that he has brought upon us. How much so, you heathen? Just think what he's going to do to you Gentile nations. And some of you Gentiles know the truth. Y'all know the truth. But be following the lie. 2 Ezra 9, man, it says, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was upon them, understood it not, but despised it, the same must know it after death by pain. And that is what the elect will avoid. And that is what the elect is trying to avoid. And that is what the elect is trying to teach to you Israelites. So you can avoid that. But, you know, nobody listens. At the end of the day, we can shout out all we want. We can preach and teach all we want. We can give you truth all we want. It don't matter. People don't listen anyway. And people ain't trying to listen for the most part. That's why it's only a few. It's only the 1/3 is only your elect. So, you know, it is what it is. That's just how the story goes. It says, just to bring it all the way back home to topic, these judgments, man, that's going out, these storms. Daniel 4:17, it says, you have to know who runs the show, man, who runs everything. It is Yahweh. Daniel 4:17, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and that the demand of the word of the holy ones to know the intent that the living may know that the Most High, Yahweh, rules in the kingdom of men and gives it to whomsoever he will and sets up over the basis of men. And who is the basis of men? Esau, Edom. The actual caveman. He's the basis of men, the actual caveman. This is why they call themselves Caucasian. Mount Seir, Caucasus Mountains, Mount Seir, the basis of men. And this devil knows that. He knows his history. He knows his history. This is why you had 12, 15 years back, they used to have a commercial, a program commercial, and it went something like, so easy a caveman can do it. Because these devils know the history. They know the prophecies. They know their origin. So easy a caveman can do it. So when Yahweh says he sets up the bases of men, he's talking about Esau, Edom, the bases of all the nations. The actual caveman, the Caucasian. Let's just be real. Let's just be truthful. Call a spade a spade. They know they ancestors come out of the damn Caucasus Mountains. Mount Seir, Petra Jordan, lived in the rocks. And it tells you that in Obadiah. It says, thou that has set his nest upon the what's the name, man? You can't make this stuff up, man. Y'all be thinking we just making shit up. We're not making nothing up, man. It's the truth. It is what it is. It's the truth, man. It tells you that. You know what? I'm going to grab it for truth's sake, for proof's sake, because you people be thinking we're lying and just making up stuff, and we're not. We're giving you the Bible. We're giving you the truth. It literally tells you that, man. Thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock. That's Petra Jordan. That's Mount Seir. That's the Caucasus Mountains. The Caucasian, the basis of men, Esau. It says, the vision of Obadiah. It says, thus said Yahweh concerning Edom, the Edomites. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I've made you small among the heathen, but you are greatly despised. And why is the so-called white man, chiefly the white man, so-called white man, the Edomite man, and then his significant other, the white woman. And you know, women, man, women, they follow the man. They just follow power. You know, so I may cut a little slack for some of you white women. For some of you white women, I may cut some slack. But we know what we read the history and seen what you Edomite women were doing to the Hebrew Israelite slaves. You were just as ill. You were just as ill as your male counterpart. But I cut a little slack for some of you, because some of you were trying to help the Israelites. But the history, just read the history. It says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right now, this man is despised by everybody. All of the nations are, they despise him. This is why all of them are building the bricks, not compensation, but the BRICS financial system. They're moving away from the dollar, making their own. This is why all of the nations are, moving on, making their own, because Yahweh has made him, like it said, prophecy. You are greatly despised. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that says in his mind, his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? The eagle, man. The eagle. And I just brought that up to support my last, rebuttal. But I'm kind of like dabbling everywhere, but I'm bringing it all together. So that's what it is, man. You can't deny who is who right now. You can't deny it. It is what it is. The truth is the truth. So You got earthquakes happening. You have volcanoes activating. You have floods happening. You have people killing one another. The love of many waxing cold. Family killing family. People hating each other. You know, I'm talking about hating each other to where they just killing each other. You know, even though you have quarrelsomes and quarrels, Yahweh he still has laws and statutes and commandments and things supposed to go in order. You know, the Bible says be peaceful. The Bible says be peaceful. Yahweh says be peaceful upon all men, if possible. So just because you have a gripe doesn't give you just, you know, just to go, just to, you know, kill. Because what is the biblical law? Thou shall not kill or murder. Still got to keep the laws to the best of our ability. So, you know, it is what it is. But so you have the love of many waxing cold. You have volcanoes activating. You got the chariots activating. You got the UFOs everywhere, man. The chariots are everywhere, making themselves known. You have the truth coming out, making itself known. You just have prophecy, man. You're living in prophetic times. That's really the conclusion of the whole matter. This is a pot, a salad, a pot of prophecies. One of my favorite English words. I got a lot of English words that I like, but one of my other favorite English word is polycrisis. Check that out, you listeners. You know, the house of Judah and the house of Israel, those that's listening to these breakdowns or to my breakdowns specifically, look up the word polycrisis. Polycrisis. You have a lot of polycrisis going on, man. You know, plot twists, plot twists, plot twists. It's like a movie, man. There's so many plot twists, plot twists, plot twists. And when you think the plot is here, just when you think the plot is going here, plot twist. Yahweh Shai, Yahweh brings a plot twist. He changes it. He changes it up. Plot twist, plot twist, plot twist, polycrisis, polycrisis. You know, prophecies. It's a lot of prophetic things happening. So it says Psalms 83:15. It says, so persecute them with thy tempest and make them afraid with thy storm. So this is who brings the storms. Isaiah 28:2 is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai says, behold, the Lord Yahweh has a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters. You got New York flooding with water. You got Japan and China flooding with water. You know, so who's bringing all of this destruction, all of this turmoil, all of this prophecy? It is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Prophet Isaiah 28:2 says, behold, the Lord has a mighty and a strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. Isaiah 29:6, it says, thou shalt be visited of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai of hosts with thunder, these thunderstorms, these floods, earthquakes, pestilence, famines, violence, poverty. All of this stuff is of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It says, thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storms and tempests and the flames of devouring fire. You know, over there in California, it catches on fire. Fires happen. All of this stuff is judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Now you got some people that say, you know, it's your government that's doing these things, and that very well can be true. That very well can be true, but you got to understand who controls all the souls. Who controls the souls? The government is nothing but humans, mortals. They're nothing but mortals, humans. And you got to understand who controls them at the end of the day. Who controls the mortals? Who controls all of the souls, man? Deuteronomy, you people give everybody else too much power instead of giving the one that really has the power, which is Yahweh Shai, Mashiach. Deuteronomy 30, which is Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Mashiach. Yahweh, both of them. Deuteronomy 32:39. They control everything. It says, "See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill." It is Yahweh, man. Yahweh gives the decree. He is the Don Corleone, the Godfather, one of my favorite films. Probably the first and second one. But the Godfather, man. Yahweh is the Don Corleone. He calls the shots. He is the master chess player. You know, when you playing chess or when you playing any video game or anything, when you're controlling something, the mastermind, the Don Corleone, if you will, the mastermind, if you will, the brains of it all, if you will, is Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Everybody is just carrying out their lot. So even if it is the Gov, you want to say it's the Gov that's doing the cloud seeding, it's the Gov that's flooding, it's the Gov that's using the heart machine. Even if you want to say that, and that very well could be true. Who controls these spirits? Who controls them to do these things? Who controls man? At the end of the day, who controls man? Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Deuteronomy 32:39. "See now that I even am He, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." So that's who runs the show. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Who they ignorantly call God. People call him God. He runs everything. He is all sovereign. He controls everything. He runs everything. There has been many accounts in the Bible that proves that he runs and controls everything. So if you want to say they cloud seeding, they're using the heart machine, they're manufacturing these geopolitical storms or geostorms. All of this stuff is man-made, man-induced. You got to understand who controls man. So that's the thing. So with that, I'm going to say, Kol Halam La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakat Kadash. Prophecy, prophecy, prophecy. What's going on, little one? Little one.